looking to break into the music industry and wasn't sure how.
It's the old Homer in the nuclear reactor, and there's one button that says, don't push, and he just,
Push it, push it.
Jack Robinson, one of the original co-founders. Yes, I was looking to break into the music industry and wasn't sure how, and came here for a meeting with him, and he convinced me that if I was the receptionist here, that I would meet everybody in the industry in Minneapolis that I needed to know. And I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to answer phones. But I did it.
I really had no idea that a career in music would lead me to teaching. A lot of people who supported me and mentored me and gave me advice when I was younger would just always say, try anything, because you don't know what's going to happen the next day. You don't know what could come down the pipe, so try it out. And I think life is kind of like that, you know. You've got to try things out to figure out where you fit best. If you try a situation and it doesn't work great, well, you learn from that and you try something else. And when the opportunity to teach came up, I tried it with one class, absolutely loved the opportunity, and that was 7 or 8 years ago, at least now.
I had been growing up all my life dancing and being a competitive dancer, and I was doing choreography before I started working here and working with some different dance companies, but I always knew that I didn't want to be in the back. I didn't want to just be the background dancer. I wanted to be out front. And I always knew that singing was something I had a passion for. I just really wasn't sure how to get into, you know, the part of the music industry that I was looking to kind of move towards.
It's hard to think back and say that there was one seminal moment, but it's one of those things when you think about it, moment after moment sort of built upon each other. I mean, I can remember when I was 3 listening to my folks' American Graffiti LPs and thinking, that's cool. And I remember one of the coolest birthday presents ever in middle school, my dad took me to see Paul McCartney when he first started touring again. And that was, I mean, it blew my mind, a piano going up in the air on a big turny thing with lasers and lights, and you're like, this is amazing. All the way to in high school, going to clubs and seeing smaller shows and indie bands and just thinking, wouldn't that be cool at some point? And I think instead of one seminal moment, it just kept building. But I distinctly remember I was 16 or 17, and the Wallflowers were playing at a club in Chicago years before they broke with 6th Avenue Heartache and all of those songs. And we got into the show, and I got to sit right behind Rami Yafi, the keyboard player, and I'd never before in my life seen a dude play B3 with one hand, piano with his other hand. It freaked me out, and you know, past that point, I started acquiring vintage keyboards and, you know, having what would be called a problem, a habit.
I would say to really explore everything and kind of get an idea of where your inner creativity kind of lies, and experiencing different things and kind of finding out, you know, what you might like and what you might not like within the industry, because even the things that seems like it might be obvious, you know, you're drawn to it, you might actually get into it and realize, well, this really isn't for me. And there's so many different places that you can go. I would just say just hitting the ground and taking as many positive opportunities as you can that are in different areas to kind of really just kind of be versatile and really have a good understanding of all the different areas of music. Because, you know, one thing that I have found myself that I'm really, really good at that I had no idea is the business side of things. You know, I do a lot of booking, I do a lot of event planning and getting ready for shows, and I had no idea about that before. It was never something I would have even thought about. So,
you know, I think the main thing that we all have to do is redefine what success means. I mean, this is even happening in the business world. I mean, success used to be, well, I'm an investment banker here and I have 2 Ferraris and 7 houses, and suddenly we see Monday alone, 74,000 people lost their jobs. Yesterday, Target and Best Buy letting people go. It's a really rough time. And a lot of times in business today, you're hearing the word sustainability. I'm making enough to pay my bills and keep doing what I'm doing. I think sustainability is really going to be a mantra for musicians, and if we look at it that way, how do I make enough money to keep my career going. You know, you're not waiting for some magic bullet moment where suddenly you sell 1 million. Think globally, but work hard locally. You know, there's a lot of opportunities that out there. I would say think before you leap. We often will spend months working on songs, months working on mixes, and months working on the art, and then we'll expect that in 2 or 3 weeks we can put it out there. It takes the same amount of work to promote music that it takes to create music, and equally weighing both of those, not that anyone is less creative or artistic than the other, would help us all out. So it's going to be, how do I develop a crowd? And I think what's really cool is since we were always striving, I think a lot of times for those big moments, we also wanted to play New York and not just Minneapolis. And we hopped over 200 cities on our way to New York. And we forgot, well, what if I gigged Winona, Minnesota? What if I gigged Austin, Minnesota? What if I went up to that radio station, KAXE in Grand Rapids, and I played up there and I went on the air with them and supported their station? I think looking that way and thinking about the Morrises and the Mankato's and the St. Clouds, again, supporting those communities. I mean, it's true, there's music fans in New York, but there's music fans in Iowa. There's music fans in Wisconsin. Music changes our lives. She's just like, buttons.